ranked amongst the top 10 countries for gender equality, and close to 58% of our bachelor's degree graduates are women. But it's not just in our university campuses that we reinforce equal gender rights. A New Zealand school in Dunedin made history this year in March when it introduced gender-neutral uniforms after girls objected to being forced to wear skirts. Now the girls can wear shorts, the boys can wear kilts, which are, after all, traditionally a male attire, and either can wear culottes. It demonstrates how our commitment to protect women's rights, but also to give equal rights to boys and girls, is enthusiastically shared at all levels in our society. New Zealand's delegation to this year's Women Economic Forum includes Penny Simmonds, who is the CEO of the Southern Institute of Technology in Invercargill. You have to pronounce your R's properly when you're talking about the deep south in New Zealand. And Invercargill is at the bottom of our South Island. She's widely respected for her contribution to the development of education, sport, and the community in New Zealand. Penny's presence here is especially relevant because it is at the Southern Institute of Technology where India's trailblazing mountaineering twin sisters, Tashi and Ngushi Malik, studied. In case you don't know, they are the world's first siblings and twins to scale the highest peaks on all the 7 continents. Last year in December, the 25-year-olds added another peak to their haul, Aoraki Mount Cook, New Zealand's highest mountain, and I dare say the training ground for New Zealand's Sir Edmund Hillary. They received the prestigious New Zealand-India Sports Scholarships in 2014 to pursue graduate diplomas in sports and exercise science, and benefited from New Zealand's world-class education facilities and our firm support to enable equal representation of women in sports. We're proud of what they achieved during their time in New Zealand and what they continue to do back in India as leaders of an NGO that they have established in Dehradun to use outdoor activities to empower women here. The phrase open hearts also testifies to another of our fundamental characteristics, our welcoming and multicultural society. And Indians have played a vital role in enabling that right since the early 19th century. It was in 1810 that the first Indian, a Punjabi, came to New Zealand and married a Maori Indigenous New Zealand woman. From just one, we've now grown to more than 155,000 Indian origin New Zealand citizens. This figure from our 2013 census has surely grown since. The Indian origin community accounts for nearly 4% of our population, a much larger ratio with respect to the size of our population compared to the Indian origin communities in Australia or in Canada. Not surprisingly, Hindi is now the 4th most spoken language in New Zealand, behind English, Maori and Samoan. Indian New Zealanders continue to make a very welcome contribution to our society and economy. 3 MPs of the 120 in the New Zealand Parliament are of Indian origin, and so is one of our former Governors-General, Sir Anand Sachinand. In fact, Auckland, our largest city, is ranked as the 4th most diverse city in the world in terms of the birthplace of its residents. As of 2013, some 39% of Aucklanders were born outside New Zealand, and slightly more than half of those were from the many countries of Asia. This brings me to open minds and our strong reputation for innovation and creativity that has been associated with us right since the early 20th century when Sir Ernest Rutherford, who was born in the South Island, split the atom. New Zealand is a creative place. It is restless, adventurous, unbound by convention, and able to work with others to find new ways of addressing problems. We are a place where the unexpected can be explored and the status quo challenged. New Zealand companies innovate and problem solve. We are currently ranked 5th in Asia Oceania for innovation and 7th globally for patents filed. New Zealand companies combining 21st century sensibilities with the classic Kiwi characteristics of ingenuity and technical know-how are bringing their innovations to India and the world. They're looking for partnerships as a way to grow and to scale up, and in turn, they are participating in India's modernisation. Our ingenuity makes New Zealand an attractive destination in which to set up business. Most of the major Indian IT multinationals, including HCL, Tata Consulting Services, Tech Mahindra, Wipro and Infosys, have established a presence in New Zealand. There are several New Zealand companies operating in India, and many of them are supplying sophisticated manufacturing products, software and technology, jet engines for the Indian Navy and Coast Guard vessels, digital wireless communication systems, baggage handling systems for India's new airports, online cricket administration tools, and such amazing things as vapour recovery systems for petrol stations. We also fundamentally believe in being an outward-facing country with an open economy, one that is part of a wide-reaching network of global trading relationships. Having lost access to the UK's market when it joined the European Economic Community in 1973, we were forced to take some tough economic choices. These included our decision to do away with agricultural subsidies, which, despite the short-term pains, ensured our farmers became globally competitive in the long run. We haven't looked back since then and now export to more than 200 countries worldwide. With a population of just 4.5 million people of our own, we are capable of feeding more than 40 million. New Zealand's experience, and that of many other countries, has been that opening the economy, not protecting it, encouraging competition, and removing regulatory barriers to the entry of new firms makes for not just good policy, but good economics as well. We remain one of the best places to do business. We have a global reputation for transparency, lack of corruption, and ease of doing business. New Zealand is currently ranked first in the world for ease of doing business and is also the least corrupt. Our economic growth, encouraged by our open and transparent business model, has played a critical role in ensuring the enviable quality of life that New Zealanders enjoy. New Zealand topped Legatum's International Prosperity Index, pipping countries like Norway, our friend from Switzerland, Canada, Australia and Finland in November 2016. We were praised for our open market, free people and strong sense of society. And just about a week ago, Wellington, our capital, was named the best city to live in by Deutsche Bank in its survey of 47 cities. This distinction would not have been possible without the fantastic natural environment that we Kiwis are so proud of and fiercely protect. For a country that is bigger in size than the state of Uttar Pradesh, but with a population that is perhaps even smaller than that of South Delhi, we are indeed a country of open spaces. New Zealand's pristine environment, besides being an obvious boon for us, is also a big draw card for tourists across the world, and our 100% pure image has become a top sell in tourism markets across the world. Our determination to protect the environment is reflected in the fact that 80% of our electricity comes from renewable sources, the fourth highest for any OECD country. It is our concern for the health of the environment and people that inspired New Zealanders' protests against nuclear testing in the Pacific in the 1960s and 70s, and out of which emerged our strong anti-nuclear policy. Our agriculture sector, known for its excellence worldwide, also places great emphasis on production processes that are sustainable and environment friendly. This is why we continue to win international accolades and why multinational firms like IKEA turn to New Zealand to source products that are traceable and which they know comply with the highest standards of sustainability and animal welfare practices. We have been ranked first twice for the sustainable management of our fisheries. Even New Zealand wine, and increasingly popular product here and around the world comes from overwhelmingly environmentally friendly sources. 98% of our vineyards are certified as sustainable. And even our world-renowned dairy industry, one of our most intensive forms of farming, has been proactive in seeking to protect and restore New Zealand's inland waterways. We've been a trendsetter when it comes to protecting the environment. In March, one of our rivers, the Whanganui River, was given the same rights as a human being, the first such decision anywhere in the world. Since then, it has encouraged similar decisions, including in India, where the High Court of Uttarakhand granted similar rights to the Ganga and Yamuna rivers. New Zealand is certainly keen to collaborate with Indian agencies to help further clean its environment. One way of done so is through the use of New Zealand manufactured machines to monitor pollution levels in New Delhi. I'd like to end with the inspiring story of Ritika Bhagava, one of the many thousands of Indian students who came to study at our world-class universities. She now follows a long tradition of successful women business leaders in New Zealand, which includes the likes of Teresa Gatto, the former CEO of Telecom New Zealand, who was ranked at 49th spot by Forbes in the list of the 100 most influential women in 2006. Ritika was 18 when she enrolled for a degree in 2006 in physiotherapy at Auckland University of Technology. Empowered by the knowledge she acquired at AUT and enabled by our system that encourages women entrepreneurship, the girl from Lucknow has now gone on to open a chain of physiotherapy clinics in New Zealand and even to represent New Zealand in world powerlifting. For what she had achieved even before the age of 30, she was recognised in 2014 with an award for Young Entrepreneur. New Zealand, she says, has made her come out of her shell and do exactly what she loves to do. This is what we want to enable for as many women as we can. So when you think about New Zealand, think about our open hearts, our open minds, our open spaces, and what this means for how New Zealand interacts with the world, but also what it could mean for you and other women entrepreneurs. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Kia ora, dhanyavad.
So continuing our New Zealand story, I'd now like to call upon Penny Simmonds. Penny wears many hats. She's not just the CEO of the Southern Institute of Technology. She's also the president of Hockey New Zealand. She's on the board of advisors of I Am Woman. The list goes on. So I'm going to hand over the mic to Penny, and she will take this New Zealand story further. Penny's here with us for the rest of the conference, and there'll be a couple of more occasions where you'll be able to listen to what Penny has to say. But for now, Penny Simmonds. So there's a short video that Penny has for us before she speaks. Can we have the video, please?
Listen up, take a chance, you can sing, you can dance, you can live like there's no tomorrow. Give it time and you'll find there's a rule, there's a rhyme, move along and the rest will follow.
Kia ora tātou, nau mai, haere mai. So that's a greeting in the Indigenous people of New Zealand, Māori language, and it's a very warm welcome to you here to this session today. So I've been given the opportunity to talk a little bit about education in New Zealand, and I think I was given that honour because I'm the longest serving Chief Executive in the tertiary education sector in New Zealand. In fact, I told some colleagues earlier today in a session that I started in the job 20 years ago when my youngest child was only 5 months old and my twins were 6 years old. And please don't think that's inspiring and be motivated from it, because it was sheer madness and I don't recommend it to anyone. But however, I have had the advantage of being in the tertiary education sector in New Zealand for many years. And we have a number of international students studying in New Zealand. In fact, we have 25,000 Indian students come to us every year in New Zealand to study, and that's fabulous to have those students with us. Some of the things that I think are really important for you to know about the education sector is that we have the New Zealand Qualifications Authority, which is in charge of the quality assurance of all our education, but also it registers all the qualifications so that students studying with us are able to transport that qualification across the Commonwealth and gain international recognition. Our tertiary education sector has many incentives for international students to come to us, particularly studying at postgraduate level, because the New Zealand government sees the benefits that it brings to our New Zealand students to have international students studying with us, and they also see the relationships that it develops for later business-to-business relationships. So, for example, at postgraduate level, students that come to us from overseas can work for 20 hours per week. If they come with a spouse, with a husband or wife, their husband or wife can work full-time. If they come with children, their children can go to our New Zealand primary schools and secondary schools for free, exactly the same as a New Zealand child would do. So up to the age of 18, their education can be free. We do these things because we see the benefits in having those postgraduate level students coming from overseas into New Zealand, particularly in areas where there are skill shortages in New Zealand. So again, the New Zealand government has made quite specific links between our student visas and our work visas. For example, those studying at bachelor's degree level or higher are able to get a 1-year work visa as soon as they graduate, and if they get employment in the area that their qualification is in, they can get a further 2 years of work visa. So that's a really deliberate policy from the government to ensure that we have people coming through and studying in areas where we have skill shortages and where we want to encourage people to migrate to New Zealand to fill some of those skill shortages. Because Auckland is our biggest city and it has some congestion issues, the government also has a strong policy of incentivising students and new migrants out into the regions. So, for example, there are additional points to people wanting to migrate to New Zealand if they go and work out in the regions away from Auckland. There are additional points if you study at postgraduate level. And again, we're trying to make sure that the migrants that come into New Zealand are filling those skill shortage gaps to ensure that our economy can keep growing. Her Excellency mentioned Tashi and Nunshi Malik, who came to us at the Southern Institute of Technology. About 4 years ago, I was speaking at a conference in India and I met the twins. They're the most delightful girls, and I went and spoke with them and offered them a scholarship to come and study at the Southern Institute of Technology in the south part of New Zealand. And so they came over and spent 2 years with us. They spent a lot of time going around our country talking about their adventures, promoting what they are doing here in India and raising awareness, and in many cases raising funds for them to bring back to India. So you can see how these relationships are so important. When we bring students in, we want to build more than just one individual's qualifications. We want to build those bridges between countries. So as part of what Her Excellency was saying about open hearts and open minds, New Zealand very definitely welcomes international students, welcomes students from India to come and study in New Zealand, and gives them the opportunity to go into work experience situations. So thank you very much for the opportunity to add to Her Excellency's speech today about New Zealand, and I hope that's told you a little bit about the education sector in New Zealand. Thank you.
So the New Zealand story actually keeps going. And because Her Excellency has opened the spaces and we stand here with open arms, we are taking WEF to New Zealand. So November 3rd, 4th and 5th, 2017, you all are extended this warm, warm welcome to the Women's Economic Forum to be held in Auckland, New Zealand. So we will look forward to seeing you there.
It is my absolute pleasure to felicitate Her Excellency, who's joined us for this very special session, and all of us going to New Zealand into the open hearts and open minds. I now invite Penny Simmonds and Annu Sharma to please join me in felicitating Her Excellency.
After that very interesting discussion about the New Zealand story and the invitation to WEF Auckland, can't wait, I invite you all to join us in the next discussion, a power-packed discussion. We're talking about driving the future through converting ideas to successful businesses and reputation management. So something that we all need a little bit of information and insight on. So I'd like to welcome on stage Beth Kelly Hatt. Welcome, Beth. Ladies and gentlemen, please come together. Let's get a little bit closer in and light up this room a little bit. Come closer in. Welcome, Beth. The Aquila Center for Cruise Excellence coming from Canada. We welcome you. Candice, Camille, welcome. She's a velologist and inspirational speaker from USA. Thank you. You are so fabulous. Welcoming Carol Hanlon, the CEO of Belmont BEC and TCFWA, Australia. You're going to fill us in on those abbreviations, of course. My privilege to call on Mr. K. Vijayakumar, coming from Bangalore, India. He is the managing director of Vijayakumar Industries. And I know, ladies, you want a piece of him. He is what is known as the nose of India. He's the fragrance man of India. Welcoming next, Tena Pick. Welcome, the CEO and co-founder of the Sustainability Platform, coming from the UAE. Let's welcome Ms. Pick. Calling on Fazia. And welcoming Fazia, the founder of Faz PR and Events, coming all the way from the UK. Welcome, Faz. Do we have Rebecca Sophia? Welcoming Kriti Baveja, the co-founder of momsjoy.com, coming from India. Do we have Sharon George? Esther Beneth? Cecilia? Funeka? Kanchan, Sukhija? Well, we'll be joined by the speakers, but we're not going to wait because we can't wait to start this exciting discussion ahead. And I'm going to pass the dais on to, I'm going to call on Beth to speak with us and set the stage on fire. Our audience needs a little bit of work, so let's talk to them.
All right.
All right.
Good afternoon. I'm Beth Kelly Hatt. I'm the founder of Aquila in St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. And it's been a real gift for me to be here with my daughter this week, who is a partner in the business now, and to have been invited by Brenda, our dear friend. This has been such a special time. I'm a passionate entrepreneur. I'm a sponge when it comes to learning, so I've attended sessions all the time. I know I'm going to get home very tired, but that's okay. And I love to come to work every day. Aquila surprises, delights, and educates cruisers who take tours in our port in St. John, New Brunswick. And we have managed over the last 10 years to actually have taken our processes and formed an Aquila Center for Cruise Excellence that takes destinations around the world to new levels of excellence. We help them with service excellence. So in those 35 years, I've certainly learned a lot about myself and about leading. And one of the things that I've learned is that my great purpose was really not about my business at all. It was about mentoring and growing leaders. Everyone in our company, we really try to help them to grow. If they grow so much that they burst out of the business and have to go start their own, that's really okay. But we have done that over the years. And I'd like to share just 2 pieces of advice, of wisdom today for driving future ideas. One of them, those that came to my session a few days ago, heard about the Good to Great, and that's a book by Jim Collins that I would recommend any entrepreneur to read. But it's finding out what you're really passionate about as a person or as a business, and also what you can be the best in the world at, and how can you profit from those two things. And the conversions of those three circles really brings out a big, audacious goal that you need to form. And what we did way before we even knew we were going to take and export our knowledge over the world, we decided that we would become the standard in the industry. And it took us 5 years instead of 20. So it's possible. Anything is possible. And the other thing that I'd like to say is, as a piece of wisdom, is that ideas are everywhere in the universe. They're just right there for taking it. You just have to stop long enough to be quiet and to listen. And as type A entrepreneurs, I know most of us don't do that very well. But really, if you can stop every day, take an hour, take a half hour if an hour is too long at the beginning, but take the time to stop and really think about where the business can go, where you can go as a person, what your dreams are. Meditate. I've been meditating since I was 22 years old. And people think I'm in my 50s, but I'm really 66. And I absolutely think meditation will bring you to places you just don't know. Thank you. And I'm just going to leave you with one quote. And it's, always go with the choice that scares you the most, because that's the one that's going to help you grow. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Beth, for leaving us with those very digestible, bite-sized nuggets of wisdom. Thank you. With that, I call on Candice Camille to speak with us and enchant us with all that wisdom.
Absolutely, yes. Hi, New Delhi, India. How's everybody doing today? I got so much energy. It is just unbelievable for me to stand here and be still without going in to what I actually want to tell you just about big ideas. And I know that you guys are wondering, what the heck is a wellologist, right? I had an idea that I just did not want to be called a health coach. So I decided I wanted to be a wellologist. I worked for a pulmonologist. I knew that was a study of something. So I figured we teach people how to be well. So I teach my clients how to be well. So I figure ologist, it's a study of. So it's a study of wellness with wellology. So I made it up. So right now I'm in the process of getting it in a dictionary. So because that was my idea, I decided to do it. Sometimes you have to look at things and say, I want to do it, be convicted by it, believe in it, and just get it done. Sometimes you may look crazy, but it doesn't even matter. I mean, look at Thomas Edison 10,000 times before we got lights. Imagine if he would have given up on his idea. We will not be sitting in here. The Wright brothers with the airplane, I wouldn't have been able to get here. You wouldn't either if he would have given up on the idea. So don't give up on your idea, no matter how bad you think you're going to look, or what somebody's going to say, or who is in your ear. You just do what necessary if that's what you believe. So for me, I am CEO of Candice Camille Enterprises. I own a wellness boutique in Fort Washington, Maryland. I teach women from the ages of 45 to 65 how to be well 1 minute at a time, because that's what it takes, the minute that you're in. I am a grandmother of 5, mother of 2. My oldest is 42 years old, and my youngest is 38. Disclaimer, I had my oldest when I was 2, so I'll just leave that out there. So like her, we are the new 60. Simply because we do what's necessary to stay here. And we follow our dreams, our ideas about what we want to do, not how we were going to look or be perceived in the world. I am the creator of something called the Plank Talk Challenge. I did not create the plank. I did not create challenges. But I did create the Blank Talk Challenge movement that has gone global around the world. Because in 1 minute I had an idea, how can I get my clients as entrepreneurs to get up from behind the desk and move? Simply because we have made sitting the new smoking. It's a bad habit. So you have to get up and move. So let me ask you, New Delhi, do you have a minute? You got a minute to help me take my big idea to the next level? Do anybody here, anybody want to do something different, take action today in 1 minute? If that's you and you raise your hand, would you meet me right here on the stage? Because today, so if you raise your hand, don't be afraid, get up. Lady right here in the pink, come on, come with me. I invite any of the speakers to come here. I had this idea that I'm going to TED Talks. TED didn't call me yet, but he will. And when I get there, I'm going to be ready. See, because you have to be ready so you don't have to get ready when the call comes. So I'm getting ready. So for my 18 minutes, when I get to TED Talk, I'm going to plank and give you my message. So do you know what planking is? Everybody know what planking is? Have anybody ever planked? So today is day 1 where we're going to get down here and we're going to plank just because it's a good idea. And I decided it was a good idea. So again, let me ask you, New Delhi, do you got a minute? Is there anybody else out here that's willing to look crazy, do something ridiculous, and not worried about what anybody is going to say in this moment about doing something? So if that's you, I invite you to join me on this stage just because. Come on, right here, right now, for all of us that can fit up here and do this, come on over here and watch us just plank for 1 minute. You got a minute. It only takes 1. Because this way, if you do plank, come on, when life knocks you down and sometimes life just get low, you will be able to get up. And you won't hear yourself say that I've fallen and can't get up. So I invite all of you ladies to come on down here with me, get low, let's plank, and get this done. This is how this is done in 1 minute, right? 1 minute at a time. Just lift up, hold your body weight up. Because listen, ladies, as women, we are always trying to hold others up and hold other body weight up. You cannot hold your body weight up, hold others' body weight up if you cannot hold your own up. Today, this is my 495th day of planking every single day. If you can do this, you can do anything. This is my idea. I am going to TED Talk and I am going to plank for 18 minutes while I deliver this message, simply because that's what I decided to do. Thank you, ladies. 1 minute at a time. Yes, thank you very much. I am Candice, Camille. Thank you, and I'm going to TED Talk.
Thank you. That was fantastic. I think, where were you on day 1? And day 2? And day 3? Yeah. This had to be a build-up. Fantastic. That was, I think everyone did that. Can I call on our gentleman here representing the diversity of the WEF to invite him and speak with us, welcoming Mr. K. Vijayakumar, coming from Bangalore, India.
Good afternoon. And thanks to the organizers for inviting me here today, and to all the wonderful women and a few men who are making a big change in the world that we live in. Congratulations to all of you. Well, I'm here to speak about some of the work that we did back home in Bangalore. I'm basically a businessman, an industrialist, and for 3 generations we are engaged in the business of perfumery, which is manufacturing fragrances and distributing aroma raw materials which we bring in from different parts of the world. Now this is the work that we were doing, and about 25 years ago, in one of the spiritual lectures that I attended, our Guru Swami Dayananda Saraswati, he made a very valid, pertinent, and a very telling point. He said that as human beings, all of us, at the end of the day, must answer one question. Did we give back to planet Earth a little more than what we took from it? And this is especially true of the urban conspicuous consumer. And all of us, I would like to believe that most of us are urban dwellers, and we are conspicuous consumers no matter in which part of the world we live in or come from. And at some point in time, if those of you who are working towards sustainable development, sustainable industries, must think about leaving behind something positive which is over and above what we consume from planet Earth. So this set us thinking, and one of the things that we chose to do was to set up an organic farm. We bought a piece of land about 10 hectares, which is nothing very big, 20 plus acres of land on the outskirts of Bangalore, which was absolutely barren. It was like a football field, and nothing grew in it except some weeds and bushes and nothing else. So we set about transforming that place, and in a period of 18 years, I couldn't believe it myself. If somebody had told me then that you can't do much in 20 years, I would have believed them. But then, once we set about afforesting that place, bringing in plants and trees, we saw a very discernible and change that we couldn't imagine we could bring about in less than 15, 20 years. Today, the farm has a wide assortment of trees that are going extinct, timber varieties that are very rare, which were there once upon a time in our rainforests, which are no longer there. We have medicinal plants, aromatic plants, bushes and plants that attract birds, butterflies, bees, reptiles. And the place is a haven. I mean, it's like a bio hotspot today. And we are so glad that we believe that the carbon credits, if that is the way we want to measure it, outweighs all of that we possibly consume from planet Earth. But then, while the value of this place is immense, it wasn't a commercial activity. It was simply something that we chose to do to feel happy about and to make sure that we have a place close by which is adding value to the environment. This is how we started out. And a few years ago, we said, why not we make this whole place self-sustaining? Why not we make this into a place where we can grow something, commercialize it, and at the same time retain the profile and the character of this place and be able to give into it a lot more than what we are doing now. And we started organic cultivation, which means no pesticides, no chemicals, no inorganic inputs. And we began that. 25 years ago, I couldn't distinguish one plant or one tree from another. Didn't know much about vegetables or lettuces or cabbages and things like that. But we started learning. And then I had a team of people who could assist me and help us grow. A few years ago, when we started growing organic vegetables, we had plenty of willing consumers and customers, but even then, it wasn't a commercially viable operation. We still were losing money, but we were doing it because we were happy about what we were doing it, and we wanted to continue it despite the commercial setbacks. Very recently, about 18 months ago, we heard about this new age revolutionary method of growing vegetables that can maximize production and give you the returns that you want. This process is called aquaponics. I don't know how many here have heard about aquaponics. It's a marriage between fish culture and growing vegetables. It is literally soilless cultivation. You grow plants without soil of any kind. The initial feedstock material is fish. You can grow either ornamental fish or edible fish. We feed organic inputs for the fish, and the waste of the fish, which is a complex combination of fertilizers ideal for plants, we use that to feed the plants and produce a very wide range of vegetables. This is grown within a polyhouse and within a greenhouse. And Bangalore, the climatic condition there is ideal to support this sort of a business or industry. Just to give you some highlights about aquaponics. In an open field cultivation in 1 acre of land with 3 crops a year, you can possibly produce about 20 tons of tomatoes. But in the aquaponics method, in the same space, in the same area, you can produce 250 tons of tomatoes, which is about 10 times more. In open field cultivations where you grow cabbages, greens, lettuce, carrots, etc., one would need something like 50 to 60,000 liters of water per day to maintain the field cultivations, because a lot of it is wasted, plenty goes into the ground, a lot of it evaporates, and very little actually goes to the plant. In an aquaponics cultivation, you use only 1/10 of the water that you use in open field cultivation. This is revolutionary and remarkable technology. This has already been introduced in countries like Israel, parts of Canada, and some parts of the US, and even in China now, and in Hong Kong. I think we are the first ones to do this in India. We are happy because this is totally environmentally supportive, nature friendly, and the entire industry that we have now set up is run on non-conventional energy. We are using solar to run the plant, and the entire operation is maintained by solar energy. We are encouraged to do this because we believe, number one, it's great for the environment, it's good for India, it's healthy. We have hundreds of consumers today who have enough complaints about the quality of food that they consume and the dangers that they pose and the diseases that it causes. So we believe that we are one step in the right direction when we are helping mankind make healthy choices about their lives and lifestyle. And we also think that we could be a trendsetter here, and eventually we will be able to, across India, help people get into similar technologies that will prove well not only for the consumer, but make a big change to our lives, to the world around us, and to protect and preserve the environment. I'm so happy to be here this evening and share some thoughts with all of you. Thank you all very much. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your inspiring journey. I know he makes a formidable army along with his wife, who's also in the audience today. Ma'am, would you please say hello to us? She is the first woman pilot of India, and she's also a dancer. I know there's a little correction to be made. And she's been speaking at a session downstairs. We'll just have her say.
I'm not the first woman pilot in India. I was the first from my state to do a cross-country flight.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's also a wow. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us, sir. And with that, I'd like to call Kriti Baveja to speak with us. She's the co-founder of momsjoy.com, coming from India. Welcome, Kriti.
Hi, I'm Kriti. I'm the co-founder of momsjoy.com. So I think the first thing I want to say is that creating life is the most beautiful thing in this world. And the reason why we're also all sitting over here is because of our mothers. So that process must be given importance to, and it must be embraced. A study in 2015 stated that the top 2 reasons why expecting mothers are upset is A, because of breastfeeding, and B, because of the way they look. So that is when it got thinking that, I got thinking that this particular process really needs to be embraced, and it must be given importance. And I started momsjoy.com with one of my friends who I've known since childhood, and it is basically a maternity and nursing fashion brand with a mission to empower mothers and make them feel beautiful, confident, and happy about themselves. So each of the products that we create can fit during the 9 months and post the 9 months. Plus, they have easy nursing accesses and feeding accesses, so that breastfeeding can become very, very easy. It should be normalized, as you must, I'm sure, like women over here are all sitting over here, and they're all mothers, and they can understand what I'm trying to say when it becomes difficult, when the clothes are not comfortable and functional to feed your babies, and how important it is. So that is exactly why we started momsjoy.com. So I think, as per the topic, which states that, you know, how do we convert a successful business, a business idea into a successful business? The first thing is that you need to add value and really need to solve someone's problem. So the problem that we are trying to solve is basically that women should be able to feed easily, plus they should feel extremely confident and beautiful about themselves during pregnancy. Apart from that, I think what is important in order to convert an idea into a successful business is also having the passion. Now, I'm a computer science engineer, and so is my business partner who started this. We were both working in our mundane, offices, and both of us really wanted to do something different and wanted to make a difference in the society. And when we got to know, and we had a friend who was expecting, who faced this problem, that is exactly when we decided we wanted to start this business. So we quit our jobs. Of course, our parents were very upset about this whole thing happening. It was a very big thing for us to take that huge step. I remember when I went ahead and told my parents that, I want to quit my job. The first thing my mom said was, go back and get back your resignation letter from your boss. This is not working out. So I remember getting these calls, but I had made a commitment and I had told them very specifically that, I really want to do this. This is what I see myself doing for the rest of my life, and I want this to be the best maternity wear brand in India. And recently, 2 years later, we won the Best Maternity Wear Brand Award in India for the year 2016. So that is when my parents also got the confidence, and of course, we also got the confidence that we can really do anything in the world. If you have an idea and you have the commitment and dedication and passion, you can achieve anything in this world. And from computer science engineering, getting into fashion, of course, there's like so many things that you need to learn and understand. But if you have that commitment, those mistakes that you make or the processes that you need to set, all of those just seem like stepping stones to achieving what you want to. So for us, for example, like getting into manufacturing, so we have our own manufacturing unit as well. Everything is handcrafted in India. It is a made in India product completely, because we believe in empowering people in India themselves to get employed. So from there, understanding how we can really do that as well was something new and challenging, but it was by the end of the day a stepping stone for us. And each time that I am making a business decision where I think can go 2 ways, one thing I always remember. So there's a quote which says that, what if I fall? And the answer to that is, what if you fly? So I always keep that in mind, and I always remember one other thing. So even if you're falling, I add a PS to it and I say, if you fall, you learn. So it's always making those mistakes become stepping stones. So embracing the mistakes that you make actually helps you into building your product better and better, and eventually have something which really converts into a successful product and a successful business. So these 2 things are the things which I think are required for an idea to be converted to a successful business. Apart from that, I also believe getting your processes right is something that we should all look into. If you want to build the most amazing wall, what do we need? We need to place each and every brick in the most perfect way each and every day. So having your processes correct is also an extremely imperative thing. Keeping the goal in mind, of course, and remembering why you started your business in the first place, that is important, but not getting obsessed about it each and every day when you have to, get certain things done is equally important. So I have a small story about the national volleyball player in India. Her name is Arunima Sinha, and I just want to share what happened with her and how self-belief can really make you push forward and really help you to cross those limitations that you have in mind. So Arunima Sinha is a woman who got thrown onto railway tracks by thieves. And so what happened after that was when she was thrown onto the railway tracks, the train came onto both her legs, crushing them both. And the entire night, there was nobody to help her, nobody to save her. There were 49 trains that passed her by, back and forth, no one came for help. The next day, she was taken to the hospital where she got multiple fractures. Both her legs were gone, one was amputated, and the other one had a rod put in. She knew she was going to be handicapped for her entire life. But what did she say when she was at the hospital bed? She said that if God has saved me, He has saved me to create history. And she said, "Main Mount Everest charungi." She said, "I will go and climb Mount Everest." So she went to Bachendriya Pal, who's the first woman who climbed Mount Everest, and she told her what she wanted to do. And Bachendriya Pal said to her that, Arunima, you've already climbed Mount Everest. All you need to do is, the world, what it needs to know now is a date for when you will be climbing Mount Everest. So that is the power of self-belief. That is how greatness can be achieved. And she did not only go and climb Mount Everest, she climbed the 7 peaks of the world. She also won the Padma Shri Award. So she achieved things which are unimaginable in that particular situation that she was in. I just feel that we all have an Arunima inside each one of us, and if she can do it, so can you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kriti. Thank you for setting the example that you have to just want to thrive, and you will. Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing with us. Careful. Thrive, girl. And I'd like to welcome on stage one more speaker. I call on Kanchan Sukhija, the CEO of Compare Munafa from the GPA Group, coming from India. Welcome. Let's give her a warm round of applause. She missed the planking, so we just make her take a little walk. Calling on Tena Pick. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. My name is Tena Pick, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of the Sustainability Platform, which is a social impact consultancy based out of Dubai. But in the past 5 years, ever since I made Dubai my home, I was privileged enough to work with mostly female entrepreneurs in the social impact sector, everywhere from Haiti to East Africa to Middle East, India, and Indonesia. And most of my conversations go like this. So what's your idea? It's an amazing idea, and it's going to change the world. What is it? Oh, I can't tell you. Why? Because you might steal it. Okay, can you tell me roughly what it is? No, but I'm telling you it's amazing. What's the problem with this? First, ideas don't grow in their cupboards. They grow when you share them in the environment. The scariest word an entrepreneur can hear is, "Let me give you feedback." It's like, no. Is it good feedback? Well, there is room for growth. Okay, no. This is a huge problem that we have, especially I feel, because I work mostly with female entrepreneurs, I might be wrong, among female entrepreneurs. Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of ridicule? Or is it just not having the confidence enough to understand that we can only grow as parts of the ecosystem? We grow by feedback. And ideas, I'm sorry to tell you this, but ideas are a dime a dozen. No one has time to even work on all of their ideas, much less on your ideas. So unless you're brave enough to actually go into the community and talk to people, they're still going to be in your to-do list in your notebook at the last page where no one can see them. And trust me, that's not going to be your epitaph. She had a great idea in her notebook. No one is going to care about that. So please use this opportunity and these next couple of days to meet and to bounce off ideas, even the craziest ones. We just planked on a stage at Women Economic Forum. Every idea can be executed. You just need focus, conviction, and you need the critical mass. And you have that critical mass here. So use it and focus. Please focus. You can't be everything for everyone. And this is one of the biggest challenges women have, not just in their professional, but also in their private lives. You don't have to be everything to everyone. You just have to be very, very good at the problem that you're trying to solve. That's all. Not 1,001 problem, just one problem and one solution. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tena, for so powerfully and succinctly talking to us and telling us to get it done. Thank you. And I'd like to invite next Carol Hanlon, coming all the way from the land down under. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And thank you to Dr. Habib for putting this event on, because I understand how much work it would like to take. And I would just like to start off with the fact that with passion and determination and hard work, you can make anything happen. So you need to, and I'll just share my short story, is I left home and I left school at 15. I started my own fashion label at the age of 20, and I ran that for 20 years, selling across Australia, my own factory, retail stores, wholesaling, and also exported. So with creating this theme of converting ideas to successful businesses, I would turn out hundreds of designs every season. I was also very involved with community service clubs and was a district governor, and that service club international was involved with speech and hearing impaired. Some 20 years, I left my husband, moved across Australia from the east coast to the west coast, and I got involved in not-for-profit. I started a not-for-profit. I'm the founder and manager or CEO of a business advisory organisation helping people to start businesses or to improve their business. Then a couple of years after that, I started another not-for-profit involved with fashion and creative industry. So I helped designers. Both of these not-for-profits assist businesses throughout Australia and now globally. Over the years, I've probably assisted 25,000 across Australia and another 6,000 internationally. And of those, 16,000 have been women. Taking up what the previous speaker said is that because I've been doing this for 23 years, assisting women in business, she is right. Women do lack the confidence, is their own barrier in moving forward. I also would like to share that women are very time poor. They're not only managing their own business, they're managing the family commitments, the household commitments, and if their partner is helpful in the house, they're also managing their partner to be helpful. So they are seriously time poor, so they don't have the time to attend to get business skills and the mentoring that we provide. So West Australia is a long way from, it's the second most isolated city in the world. So a long time ago, I developed online training and mentoring. And my session is 11 o'clock tomorrow, and on online business incubation. My tips for running businesses or turning ideas into successful businesses is to plan who, what, when and where are you going to do. You need to have that clear vision. You need to understand the basics to have the right thing at the right time for the right person at the right price. The biggest scary thing that I'd like to share with you today to be aware of is the fourth industrial revolution is here. It's happening. Artificial intelligence, big data. The business that you may be thinking of starting today may be obsolete in a few years. It is vital that you do your research. In the next 10 or 15 years, 50% of the businesses in the world today employees will cease to exist. So if you currently have a job, that may not be around in the next 10 years. The future is entrepreneurs, the future is small business, and freelancers. You now need to start. If you're going to wait for half of the world to be to be an entrepreneur at the same time in 10 years' time, you've left your run too late. It takes a long time to get the business skills to work out how you need to build a business to create margin. I challenge you all to dare to be different, to be creative, to think outside the square. The world is after product with a story to tell, where the source can be identified. The world is after personalization and individualization. As this session is also about reputation management, and I run 2 not-for-profits, which governance and auditing and my board of management is vitally important, I encourage everyone to look at their professional communication. I can't tell you the amount of startups that come to me are still using their email addresses or their social media contacts that when they were 18 or 19. It is not professional. You must get a professional communication whole portfolio. You need to clean your social media. You need to have your business separate from your private. You need to create transparent and sustainable supply chains, because your client, no matter who they are, big or small, will want to know that you have these things in place. You need to have credibility, and you need to keep your integrity no matter what, because that is what will stand by you in the years to come. Here, in this area of the world, India, China, and ASEAN, there is 3 billion consumers. The opportunities are endless for you to create businesses that you have researched that the opportunities are there. So I leave you with the message of do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. And anyone who comes, all attendees at my session tomorrow at 11 a.m. on empowering women entrepreneurs through online business incubation will receive a voucher or will receive access to free online business webinar, because I'm in the midst of running my 13th Innovation Festival right now, this moment. So please come along and find out more about what you can do to empower yourself or your, especially those that are here at this conference, have a network of other women that need to be empowered and need support, because for a woman in business, you need to build your support base. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carol, for sharing your wisdom with us and for just telling us that the future is nearer than we imagine. We can touch it, and we have to be prepared, and that's why, that's the message that you're all sending out, that we need to constantly reinvent one moment at a time. So it's it's something that we need to all be ready for, positively disrupting ourselves. Thank you. And with that, I call on Faz. Please come and talk to us, coming from the UK. Welcome.
Good afternoon, beautiful ladies, respected gentlemen. My name is Faz, and I'm from London. After finishing my study from London College of Fashion, I started my businesses like more than 20 years, so you can count my years and my age. And I started with one spa. Gradually that was an idea, and then it come to 6 salons and spas. And that was my first business. Volunteer work I do for the domestic violence and women empowerment and forced marriage unit, and working with, I've been awarded by BBC, I work with the Vogue magazine, I work with the Glamour magazine, I'm awarded by Glamour magazine as well. And 2014 I've been awarded by UK government on my volunteer work and the leadership award. That was the idea. But sometimes there is no idea and you just do something accidentally with the right place at the right time. So I was in the media for more than 15 years. I had a degree in filmmaking, worked with Channel 4 and worked with other channels there. And suddenly I've been offered a lecturer job in University of London. And as a lecturer, I was teaching skincare, makeup and beauty to my students was from 16 years to 70 years. There's no age boundaries whenever you want to learn. Like I finished my MBA last year. So few things is the ideas coming up in your mind and you just start doing it. And I'm really honored today to sharing this stage with the great speakers. I'm not a good speaker at all. And after this 1 minute plank, it's really empowered us to speak more after a good lunch and 1 minute. So my idea is like there is three topics in one thing. It's like successful, is like idea, successful business, and the reputation. If you are in the business, reputation is very important. So I can split this topic into three parts, which is one is, first of all, there has some idea, a seed that you can start working on that seed to make it grow into something. Without belief in that initial idea, you will not go very far. I'm sure we all have heard the ideas, and I'm really agree with one of our speakers which says this: if you have an idea, share it. Because sometimes you don't share it and somebody can steal that idea and you say, oh, that was my idea and I was going to start. But the idea is like someone else steal the idea. So I think you have to share your ideas. If it's in your luck, that has come to you. If it's not in your luck, so you have to at least, you can just share your idea. I always believe that success comes through with the reputation of a business. And it's like word of mouth as well. If you are in the business, word of mouth, it counts as well, which is implementing reputation management is vital if the business is to grow. A blow to your reputation is never nice to deal with. This is why feedback is always valuable. A business have to learn and adapt to the feedback they receive. A positive reputation is a foundation for any marketing strategy. Without it, any effort that are made to improve traffic, conversation, and brand awareness may be hindered by compliments and negative reviews. Lastly, now more than ever, social media is playing a vital role in a business. We can see how bad customer service can go viral and cause share price to dip. We have customers who can check reviews before purchasing any product or services. Striving for a successful business means to really pay attention to the customer and build the best possible reputation, especially if you have rely on recommendation to generate sales. There is always a solution, but you need to step out of your comfort zone and start from somewhere. It doesn't matter if you are taking baby steps. Through this will be discover the courage you have to make your ideas reality. Big ideas, big risk, small ideas, small risk. But there is always an element of risk involved in anything you do. I believe it is always to do something, then nothing, and then thinking what it. So take a risk if you believe in your ideas and make them happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Faz. And I think you're a great speaker. Yes. And thank you for driving that thought that that's what we say, that make your idea happen before someone else hires you to make the same idea happen for them. So I think it's nice to do it now. And with that, I call on our last speaker. Kanchan, would you please join us and share your journey and your thoughts with us, please?
Hi everyone, my name is Kanchan and I am the CEO of Compare Munafa, which is a part of GPA Group, which also has other online companies like tfloor.in, it has .com, it also has skycandle.in. We have construction companies and tea gardens, etc. So it was great to hear all the speakers share, and it definitely gave me a few insights to add on to what I am going to talk here. And so we have been discussing about converting ideas into successful businesses, right? Now let us understand first what is an idea. So an idea can be either a thought that has just crossed your mind, it can be an experience, right? Because as she said, one of her friends were expecting and they experienced something and there was an idea. Or it can be an advice from somebody that, you know, I think you're good at photography, why don't you do this? Or I think you're good at this, why don't you try your hands on that? That's where there is a birth of an idea. Now, how do you convert this idea into a successful business model? Everybody has an idea. Now, how many of us have come across in a conversation where, you know, you're discussing with a friend and your friend says, oh, that's a great thought and I think you should make it into a reality. Has anybody, I'm sure we have these discussions with our friends or peers or maybe here as well when we share our thoughts. That thought is an idea. But what happens is, okay, it was a casual discussion. And we leave it at that. We never mull over it. So that's one drawback. Yes, some speakers discussed about being at the right place at the right time. I also feel for the right reasons. I would like to add that. Why do I say right reasons? So before starting any business, you should always be very clear of your purpose of starting this business, right? It should not be, so we all are women, so let me give that example here, that I have a sabbatical because I just had a baby. So now I don't want a proper 9-to-5 job, or, you know, I'm not getting enough as I used to get earlier. So let me try and do something on my own. Trying doesn't work. Never does. Like somebody added, commitment, conviction and passion is what you need to convert it into a business and a successful business, right? What else do you need? Now you have an idea, you have the right reasons to do an idea, to convert it into business. You have a motive, right? You have a passion. Now you also have to see whether your idea is feasible, which means, does it have a strong revenue model? We all are here and want to do business because we want to create money, right? We want to earn, create employment, reasons. If we don't want to make money, then we better help somebody and run an NGO. Why do a business at all? So, do you have a revenue model in place is the second check, very, very important. Spend as much time as you can in assessing and doing your due diligence to see if your idea is financially credible. Can you earn revenues and sustain it in a long run? If your idea is not sustainable, then it doesn't really make sense in doing business. Now, always remember, you might have a great idea, a great thought, extremely passionate, you have the commitment, everything is in place. But if you feel that it's my idea, I know it all, I can do it all, maybe, maybe not. Always build a strong team of co-founders. Always build a strong team and a panel of advisors for yourself, right? And what a better place than coming here, interacting, and being stressing on the fact that we've been here, and to make an optimal use of this platform that Women Economic Forum has provided all as women here to empower ourselves. Okay? So build that strong team. People, when you build strong teams and a co-founder, very, very aware about your values, your business values, and the co-founder values match. Otherwise, it's a crash landing again, right? So we spoke about building businesses. I have personally realized that being a startup myself, today's startups somewhere run behind the idea of funding, right? Always create your business model in such a fashion that it's self-sustainable. Funding should be always your last resort. You did not start a business so that company comes and invests. Again, a wrong reason, right? You started your business because you had the passion, you believed in the idea, and you wanted to create some value. So, as my bell has rung, I would just try to maintain the reputation here and just be on time this time. And just to conclude that to protect what you have built is what reputation management is. And please protect your vision, your thoughts, your idea, and your business. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you very, very, very much, Kanchan. Thanks a lot for closing that discussion on a beautiful note of protecting ourselves and our businesses, which are, of course, our little babies. And with that, I'd like to call two special guests, very powerful women, to honor our beautiful panelists on stage. I invite Dr. Kuljit Uppal and Jigna Shah to come and give away the awards to our enriching panelists today. And our first awardee this afternoon is I call on Beth Kelly Hatt from Canada and come and receive her award as the iconic woman creating a better world for all. Congratulations, Beth. Our next awardee is Candice Camille, our planking expert from USA. Congratulations, Candice. Calling on Carol Hanlon from Australia to come and accept the honor as a woman leader, creating a better world for all. We'd like to extend our congratulations to Mr. K. Vijayakumar as an iconic leader creating a better world for all. Thank you, sir, for being here and sharing the world of wisdom. Our next awardee is Kanchan Sukhija from India, the CEO of Compare Munafa. Congratulations, Kanchan. Kriti Baveja, please step up and accept your award. As an iconic woman, creating a better world for all. Tena Pick, congratulations, you are the iconic woman we were looking for. Calling on Fazia, the founder of Faz PR and Events UK. Congratulations. Meher Gupta couldn't be here. She was on the panel today, but representing her is Amir Irshad, accepting the award on behalf of Meher Gupta. And I'll also mention the lovely ladies you see in black giving away the awards are two very powerful business women from India. Dr. Kuljit Uppal on my left. She's the CEO of Kriya and an image scientist. She's a PhD in image science. And welcoming also Jigna Shah. She is the CEO of Rave Fashions, a very well-known fashion designer from India. Panelists, would you please step up and for a group photograph so we can capture this moment?
Right on time. Yeah. Because there's nothing good. Yeah. Let's try to finish this early, you know? Yeah.
Thank you so much, ladies and gent. Thank you. That was a fabulous and beautifully healthy discussion. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're moving into our next session right away. Driving the future through mentoring, consulting, coaching, and training. I would like to invite our first speaker to come up on stage. Monica McCoy, Alice Nakor, Angela Bixby, Chani Zisman, Gurinder K. Pawar, Loretta Leon, Lynn Hope Thomas, Maggie Weber, Mamie-Jean Mami Lamley, Miss Misha Kohli, it because all the ladies came in, so I wanted to make sure. How do I say your name? No. Labor bits. Labor bits. Labor bits. Wonderful. Thank you. Sorry. No problem. On the stage we have Yale Leibovitz. I would also like to call upon Priscilla McNelly, Priti Upadhyay, Samira L. Jones, and Stella Demasus. Welcome, ma'am. Priti? Yes. Samira L. Jones. You take your shoe. Stella is here. So Priscilla is not here. I'll give you the names. Priscilla and Stella. Not here yet. Gurinder Pawar. I didn't see her. Should I call her? Try to call her again? Gurinder? Okay, so Gurinder, and then I don't have Loretta. Hello ladies, how are you doing? Welcome to India. If you're not from India, I hope you're enjoying the convention so far. This topic we're discussing today is mentoring, consulting, coaching, and training, and we have some really amazing experts that are sitting on our panel today. So I will call upon our first speaker to come up on stage. We will have about 3 minutes. Ladies, we have a big group. We want to finish in an hour. So let's keep it under 3 minutes. You'll hear a bell ringing at 2:30. Once the bell starts to ring a little bit faster, like a faster heartbeat, you know you have to go now. So just make your way out for the next speaker. Thank you very much. First, I will invite Monica McCoy. She's the founder of Monica Motives USA. Big round of applause for Monica. Thank you for being here. I certainly do. Just give me a moment.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. It is so lovely to see each of you, and I first of all would like to thank Dr. Herbine for inviting me to be on this wonderful platform. So, as she stated, my name is Monica McCoy, and I am the founder of Monica Motivates, an executive coaching, global speaking, and business consulting business. I am so honored to be here today to talk to you about this special topic. So I recently left my great corporate job as a global director with the Coca-Cola Company to pursue my business full time because I knew that there was a calling on my life to do something more than just work a 9 to 5. And with that, it's critical that we understand exactly what is our purpose, what is our calling, what are we here to do. And in coaching, mentoring, and consulting, it's critical that as we talk to our clients, that we help guide them through the path of understanding that North Star, that vision, that calling for their life. And I help people to say, do you want to watch life pass you by? Or do you want to actively get inside the arena and no longer be a spectator? Because at the end of the day, ladies, we are all wonderful beings, and we have one life to live. And either we choose to thrive in life, or we choose to remain a spectator. And I am so proud of each of you today for having the courage to come in this room at 4:45 and step inside the arena and learn from all these talented speakers today. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be critical to either say, I'm going to follow my dream, or I'm going to sit on the sideline. So each of you have a North Star or a vision for your life. And it's critical that as we continue to succeed, that we bring other women inside the arena with us and teach them some of the critical concepts such as having gratitude, such as acknowledging who are the givers and who are the takers in your life, maximizing the concept of pie. Do you understand what your performance is? Do you understand what your image is saying? Are you getting the proper exposure? And then finally, not listening to the critics. Because I'm going to tell you, ladies, and the few gentlemen that we have today, it's easy to sit on the sideline. It is so easy to sit on the sideline, but it takes courage to get on this stage. It takes courage to come to New Delhi, India. Because at the end of the day, the days of criticizing the women and men who have the courage to follow their dreams are over. You have to literally say, I'm going to get inside this arena and I'm going to bring other women with me. And when I go back home, whether I am in Pakistan, whether I'm in the USA, whether I'm in China, I'm not going to leave New Delhi the same. I'm going to go back and coach other women to follow their dreams, to get inside the arena, and to follow that North Vision. So stand up with me really quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Stand up. And I want you to say, I am inside the arena on 1, 2, 3. I am inside the arena. Are you ready? Thank you.
Thank you. I love it when speakers come and take charge, first of all, and they get people to get up and move. Can I actually request everybody that's sitting all the way far out there just to move in so our speakers can see you, just so we can have more energy in the room? Do you agree? We should get everybody to move closer so we can see you. Where there's some empty tables here. Let's fill it up, ladies. Let's fill up this space that's empty. Thank you very much. Our next speaker we have is Alice Nakore. I will try my best to say it, but I think you will pronounce it way better. She is a doctoral student and a graduate at the University of Phillips from the USA. Welcome, ma'am.
You did a good job pronouncing my name. Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies. I am so very happy to be here. Let me take the opportunity to thank Dr. Arora for inviting us and for hosting us in the most profound way. In Jim Rohn's words, we cannot rule the city until we can rule our spirits. We cannot rule the nation until we can rule ourselves. We cannot design our future until we have redesigned our habits. We cannot increase our rewards until we increase our level of intelligent activity. And I would add, we cannot create the world we want until we each do our part. In 2011, I returned to Uganda hoping to find a job, but that did not happen. I told myself, you have to remain useful. I would wake up every morning because I had no job to go to. But one thing I knew for sure is that I had something someone else needed. So I started reaching out to people in a similar situation as I was, jobless, hopeless. I started reaching out to them on Facebook. The first 2 posts nobody liked. I felt hopeless. But somehow, the 3rd post, I received a message from a young man who said, I read from you and I feel like I can trust you with my troubles. Can I meet you? That was the beginning of the mentoring and the coaching. And out of these posts, after 8 months, a publisher was following what I was writing. They decided they were going to publish a book out of it. And this book, Seeds of Ambition, was born. And for that reason, I refer to myself as an accidental author. I did not stop there. I reached out to primary schools, secondary schools, and universities. And as you know, you cannot deal with students and not deal with their parents and teachers. In all this, the message was, we have a duty to you, as you do have a duty to everybody else. Go out and do the same for others. We created a network of advocates for the restoration of people's sense of value and purpose. At Value and Purpose, we believe in value-based leadership. We believe we are all connected. We believe in Steve Covey's habit number 1, be proactive. We believe there is a seed of uniqueness in every one of us, meant to be our purpose. We believe that there is no one so poor that they don't have anything to give. We believe there is no one so rich that they don't need the help of others. We believe in positively influencing the environment we find ourselves in. I will conclude with the words that I end in Seeds of Ambition, and this is my message to you today. And here they are. One seed can start a garden. One smile can lift up a spirit. One candle can light up a room. One conversation can start a relationship. One person can make all the difference, and that person is you. Namaste.
Thank you so much. She's coming all the way from USA. Thank you for inspiring us this afternoon. Another big round of applause for her. Next speaker we have Angela Bixby, energy healer at Energy Intuit in the USA. Will you tell me where you are from the USA? Philadelphia, wonderful. Welcome.
Greetings. Good afternoon to all. I am Angela Bixby from Philadelphia in the US. I'm a psychic and a medium and an energy healer. It's not very easy to say that P word. It's very, very polarizing in our world to out yourself as someone who does what I do. My passion is teaching, and my mission is to help as many people as possible to connect to their own intuition while they walk on this earth. This is a second career for me. I've had my business for 6 years, I've raised my sons, and I've never been happier. My first path was very conservative. I chose to be a mother, a wife, and to work in healthcare as a social scientist. I was raised by a scientist, by a physician, so being raised in this left-brained culture of analysis, scientific method, was very, very comfortable for me. When I chose to answer this calling, I wasn't really sure how comfortable I would be. But I'm proud to say that I haven't looked back, and I've never felt happier or more fulfilled in my life. The courage and humility with which I approach my work and my coachees and mentees and students is what I wake up for every day, ready to just run towards the next group of people that are interested in this topic with me. Intangibles are often dismissed in this culture. You know, if you can't see it or prove it, it's not valued. But I would ask you, is there any other quality, aside from love, possibly, that is seen as such a superpower? You know, I have my intuition. We all have our intuition available to us at any time to support us personally and professionally in our lives. It really is what can bring our brains and our lives into balance in this left-brain world. It's been the innovative and driving force for my success, I can tell you that. Honing my intuition, listening to it, then living in accord with it, it really is a superpower, and I encourage you all to use it as well. 5 years ago, I set an intention that I would be teaching and speaking on international stages. And I'd like to thank all of you and Dr. Harbina Arora for helping create this manifestation for me. It's been a pleasure to be a part of WEF. It's a very, very powerful platform, as we've all recognized and said. I invite you to attend my 15-minute workshop tomorrow at 11 a.m., and I'll give you some tools and ways in which you can connect to your own intuition and possibly use it as your superpower. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Angela. So exciting to have an energy healer in the room, you know? You can always pick up on people's energy And when you tell us about it, we get so intrigued, like our jaw just drops, you know, like, how do you know all this? So it's really nice to see that spiritually you're there, you know, you can read people's energy. Thank you for being in this room with us. A big round of applause for her. Next I have Connie Zisman. She's Head of Knowledge Department and Training Resources of Ultra-Orthodox Sector in JDC Israel and Group Instructor at Movalat, Israel. Welcome.
Who wants to succeed in what she does? Thank you. I want. Even when I want to fail, and it happens sometimes, even then, I want to succeed in my failure. We always want to succeed in what we do. I want to. Let me assume we all want to. But let's remember that each and every one of us has a different definition of success. My success is not your success. And sometimes success in one place is a failure in a different place. When we want to help someone achieve her goal, by coaching or mentoring or by any other way, we should remember not to force ourselves on anyone. I work in a very special place where we try to enable everyone to succeed according to her definition. My name is Hani, and my new friend from Denmark told me you speak language, so it's Hani. Yeah. I'm from Israel. I work at JDC Israel as a knowledge development manager. JDC is a global Jewish humanitarian organization that works with about 70 countries around the world. In my country, we develop programs and social services in cooperation with the government. This unique collaboration, and I invite you all to read about us online. We work with diverse communities in Israel. We want and try to reduce social gaps, improve people's lives, and give them the chance to succeed. But always, when we talk about success, we must remember to be sensitive and to every community and every person and ask, what is success for him? I wish you all to succeed, each in her own way. Thanks for the opportunity to be part of something is so great and so successful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Connie. Thank you for coming from all the way from Israel. Is this your first time here? Wonderful. A big round of applause. I hope you keep coming back. You know, such an inspiring way you spoke, and you spoke about what you do out there. It's really nice really nice to hear. Next I want to see if Gurinder K. Pawar is here. She's our next speaker. Just want to make sure she's not in the audience. Wonderful. We'll go up to the next speaker. Lynn Hope Thomas, author and speaker from the UK. Welcome.
Namaste, everybody. I'd like to say a big thank you to Dr. Aura for her vision and the action that she has taken to bring like-minded people together here in Delhi. I'd also like to thank my soul sister, Tanya Castillo, because she's the one who actually connected and invited me along to WEF 2017. I'd also like to thank my family, my mum, my dad, my daughter Lauren, because they are my greatest teachers. They teach me to love myself, but in loving myself, it gives me that ability to be able to ensure that I love others from my heart. In this rapid, well, I'd also like to say thank you, not to forget, all the other wonderful mentors that are here today, because these are the people who are going to support all you others to help bring this world and make it a much better place, a place that we'll all be happy to be living in. This rapid transformation is happening all around us, and we're getting catapulted into a lot of chaos. I think that the time has come now for those who have been disempowered, maybe for what seems like a long time. It's time for them to step into their light and to become the leaders that are going to bring about the change around the globe. It's taken me a little while, so when people out there are maybe afraid to step into their own power, I can understand this. I had my first biggest transformation when I was 9 years old, and I lost both my twin sisters. Within 1 month, they both died. That represents transformation. It's the fastest transformation you can ever experience, as I'm sure that anyone who's been through loss will understand. I went on for 4 decades, still going through ripples of that transformation, feeling disempowered. But eventually, I found my mentor and my guru, and as a tribute to him, I wrote about my story in my first book called Breaking Through Loss. And so it's a tribute to Dr. John Demartini. My work now, I work in corporate arena. My work is to guide corporations, because what I see is that many of them are burying their head in the sand. They're doing, and I'll cut short, you'll have to read my book, but they're doing what I did, which was not face up to the situation of what is happening. So I'd like to speak at corporations and help them to bring about change so that we can help the people disempowered to become more enlightened and more empowered. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you for being with us from all the way from the UK. A big round of applause for our author and speaker, Ms. Thomas. Next speaker we have is Maggie Weber. She's a professional speaker and an author from Australia. A big round of applause. Thank you for being here, Maggie.
I will have, hello darling, I will use this one. Wonderful. Oh, thank you so much. Okay. Good afternoon, gentlemen and gentlewomen, because I believe that we will all be a lot more gentle and a lot more compassionate after the week that we've had here. So Maggie Weber is my name. I'm from Australia, well actually a little island at the bottom of Tasmania. Sometimes the big island forgets us. And I call myself the working mother's mentor. Now why do I call myself that? For 20 years now I have been a single mother. And the reason I became one is because 20 years ago I studied with Dr. Deepak Chopra. I became his first meditation teacher in the Pacific Rim. A week after training with him, qualifying with him, I spoke with him on stage at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. That was the Wednesday. By Saturday, I asked for the divorce. Because I realised that I was living a lie. I realised that I wasn't tapped into my true self. I had allowed myself to become a doormat, and I wondered why I got walked on. So it was all his fault, my husband said. And I'm sure Deepak was happy. So anyway, that was the start of my journey. But why do I call myself, as I say, that working mother's mentor? Because there's a quote from John Gray, who wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and he said, a working woman today is doing her mother and her father's job. A single working woman, she's either a miracle worker or she's just darn crazy. So we have this thing called a struggle with the juggle, I call it, going on, where we have all the balls up in the air and we're trying our utmost not to drop any of them, and we get exhausted. We often put our partners and our families and our job and everything else in front of us, and I believe that that's where a lot of our challenges lie. So if I can use my journey, my pain, and make it someone else's gain, that's what I'm aiming to do through my coaching. So what is a coach there for? Why do we have a coach? The reason that I really became a life coach is because I did a big property development, you know, when I was off being a single mother, and I decided to get into buying a property portfolio, and I was doing so well on my own, you know, and I did this property development. And unfortunately, even though I got the DA through within about 8 months, we had a little bit of a hold-up, and that held us up for 2 years. Meanwhile, the GFC hit, and I ended up $500,000 in debt. The 30 other people in my group went belly up. I decided I would find a way not to. I felt that I did not want to go bankrupt. I needed to take responsibility for the situation I got myself in. Cut a long story short, my best friend was one of those 30 people. After 3 years, she seemed to be out the other side of her bankruptcy and doing really, really well. And I'm sort of going further and further back. And I started with a coach. All I could afford at that stage, having a $500,000 debt, was an online coaching course. But it was the start of the change in me, and really taking responsibility for myself, bringing out my potential, etc. So just at the end of the 3 years that Cherie was coming out of her bankruptcy, I was going to meet her and have a coffee with her, and then her boyfriend phoned me and he said, please, will you come to Cherie's funeral with me? I said, what? I'm meeting her next week. And he said, yes, she's gassed herself. In other words, she'd thought it through. She'd gassed herself and she'd left behind her 2 children. 10 and 8. And I thought to myself, nothing is that bad that you take your own life, and certainly that you leave behind your children. And that's when I learned to be the coach. So I believe that the coach is there to keep you accountable. They're there to bring out your potential. They're there to help you find peace. They're there to give you all these wonderful gifts. They're there to tap into your true self, the perfect self. The one that's already in there, and to remind you of what you already know and what you already are. They're always also there to keep you accountable. A good coach is like a good mother. She gives you really strong boundaries. She learns to say no, and she teaches you to say no. She's there to not force you to be something you don't want to be. She's there to allow you to bring out the gifts that you already came onto the planet with, and to use those to be in service to others. So thank you very much for having me here. It's such a pleasure.
Thank you very much for letting us hear you speak, Maggie. You have worked with one of the most inspiring men that we all are inspired by, and you being with them for such a long time and hearing from you has just been very, very delightful. Thank you for being with us. A big round of applause for Maggie Weber. Now take a moment to invite our next speaker on stage, Mamie-Jean Lumley, international speaker, coach, and founder of Empowerment on Fire from the USA. You're looking lovely in that sari, by the way. Where are you from the USA?
Hawaii.
Hawaii, wonderful. Beautiful place. Would you like this?
Sure. Raise your hand if you are a woman who has a vision and a mission. Thank you. And raise your hand if you want to make a difference in the world. Thank you. Aloha. My name is Mamie Lamley, and I represent my company called Empowerment on Fire. I believe in integrity, empowerment, and compassion. I believe that my mission is to reach 5 million women in the world so that they can reach and teach their passion, to be able to speak their voice and their dreams into existence. As a coach and an international speaker, it is important for me to make that connection, to make that focus. My job is to connect not only my heart, but to connect with what my clients want in life. If I cannot listen and I cannot see what is coming from their heart, then my job as a coach and a mentor and a speaker has failed. How many of you agree with that? Thank you. As a mentor and coach, my job is always to be there to offer not only advice, but ruthless compassion. And what I mean by that is this. I help you to focus on what you are trying to, not trying, there's no such word as trying. My job is to listen and help you and guide you to what you are working towards and not focus on what or where you have been. It is so important for me, especially coming from Hawaii. Ohana means family. No one gets left behind. And as I coach and I train, that is the one thing that I always have in the back of my mind, is that none of my clients will ever be left behind. My job is also to not only connect people, but also communities with countries and continents. When I can open those doors, I can then take my clients to that next step. For me, I always remember that I am the foundation and the backing of every client and training opportunity that I do. And it is also important to remember this. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, come together. And as soul sisters in life, our message is one world, one message, one heart. Thank you.
Thank you so much for such beautiful words. You know, I love listening to speakers and just how motivate you get us after you speak. You know, like at this point, I know half of our ladies are just like, let me go and work on my next business plan. Let me go and do what I need to do. You know, so very, very inspiring. You're coming all the way from Hawaii. I love that island. It is a beautiful place. I hope we can take WEF there soon. Awesome. A big round of applause for Ms. Lemle. Our next speaker is Miss Misha Kohli. She's a co-founder for Learnosophy in India. Where in India are you? Delhi. Wonderful. Welcome.
Good evening. Hope you're all doing well. When I walked into this room, it was quite full. It's getting lesser and lesser, but thank you so much for staying here. Firstly, I just wanted to say that I'm truly honored to have been a part of this conference, and I think more so to be addressing all of you here. In my life, I imagined myself taking a few steps up and growing, but this visual wasn't imagined this early in my life, so I'm just going to take a second to soak it all in. Everyone's doing fantastic work here, I think even more fantastic than the other. I'd like to count myself as a small drop in that ocean. I run a small and a young company called Learnosophy, and what I do with that is my aim is to bring to the forefront life skills that we've kind of left behind. So I think in our education system we focus a lot on topics like science, sports, algebra, but we kind of forget some skills like decision making, personal ownership, dealing with failure, dealing with change, conflict resolution, which a lot of youngsters need to equip not just for their work, but just to be ready for life, right? So when I read the words mentoring, consulting, coaching, and training, a few life phases came to my mind. One was when I gave relationship advice to my friends in school. Second was my time in McKinsey. I was in consulting for a few years. Thirdly, my time at home with my parents. Parents need to be coached as well. And lastly, when I'm running my own company myself, right? And through all of these instances, a few common threads kind of stood out, which I'd like to share with you. One was that before realizing how much I was able to coach or mentor, I thought about how much I learned. And I think that's what I really want to emphasize today, that being a coach makes you grow sometimes even more than the person you're coaching. And a lot of skills that I took away were, one, for example, speaking like this, two, empathizing and accepting. I mean, I was a very hot-headed and impulsive person, and I can see the transition, and it's only come out of teaching someone else that. Like they say, in learning you will teach, and in teaching you learn. The second thing I noticed was sometimes coaching, mentoring is a lot to do with talking a lot and preaching. And I realized that sometimes it's more about telling you what not to do. Let's not say not, but telling you what to do less of, right? And a big learning for me is the volume that silence has, right, in effective communication. Thirdly, it reminded me that each time I successfully mentored was when I was actually emotionally detached. So there may have been issues that I wasn't really affected by, and that really helped me make my decisions in life. I mean, that doesn't mean you don't follow your gut or your intuition, but being overly swayed by emotions sometimes isn't wise. And that's me. I'm big on emotions. I'm not on practicality at all. I love feelings. I love hugs and all of that. But even though that's me, I still say that it's good not to get too overswayed. Fourthly, that coaching can't be a one-off event, right? It has to be a bit of a culture. I think you must have heard this quote that strategy can eat culture for breakfast, and I honestly believe a coaching culture has to be made for it to be lived. And lastly, co-creation is another way that I describe mentorship and coaching. I believe you have to create instances where there's relevance, clarity, commitment, and ownership for it to be really effective. I did want to conclude with a small story, but I think I don't have time for that, do I? Do you have time for a short story? Like sure. 2 paras? So I just wanted to conclude with this. A man found a cocoon for a butterfly. One day a small opening appeared. He sat and watched the butterfly for several hours as it struggled to force his body through the little hole. Then it seemed to stop making any progress. It appeared stuck. The man decided to help the butterfly, and with a pair of scissors, he cut open the cocoon. The butterfly then emerged easily. Something was strange. The butterfly had a swollen body and shriveled wings. The man watched the butterfly, expecting it to take on its correct proportions, but nothing changed. The butterfly stayed the same. It was never able to fly. In his kindness and haste, the man did not realize that the butterfly's struggle to get through the small opening of the cocoon is nature's way of forcing fluid from the body of the butterfly into its wings so that it would be ready to take the flight. Like the sapling which grows strong from being buffeted by the wind, in life we all need to struggle sometimes to make us strong. So when we coach and teach others, it's helpful to recognize when people need to do things for themselves. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Kohli, for your kind words and sharing your thoughts with us this afternoon. Next, I will have Ms. Priti up there. She's a social worker from India. If we can welcome her on stage with a round of applause. Thank you. Where in India are you from? She is from Bombay. Wonderful. I will give you this.
Respected guests, ladies and gentlemen, I like to thank you, Economic Forum, for giving me chance to present my work to august audience from around the world. I have undergone very basic education in local medium, so hence pardon my spoken English limitations. My early childhood has undergone lot of challenges, both education and social stigma around a girl child. As a result, I had to rely on my family for daily survival. This led to a spark in my thinking as to how can I lead an independent life and at the same time ensure girl child does not go through the hardship as mine. I started work for social organization Yashaswini Samajik Abhiyan, which helps women to skill themselves in cooking, imitation jewelry, handicraft, etc. I work in this organization for 10 years, where I not only learned these skills, but also built a network of women community. With this network, I managed to reach out to larger women community across Maharashtra who can be skilled and lead an independent life. Today, it gives me great pleasure that I can share my 20 years of experience with a larger community of women and help them lead an independent life. I run skilling programs like making detergent powder, candles, cooking, soft toys, etc. We managed to sell these items to big retailers like Big Bazaar after right quality checks. Women have some talent and I have helped them to improve it so that they can earn their livelihood. All my hard work has been recognized by the social and commercial organization in India. First award given by then Honorable Agriculture Minister, Mr. Saradji Pawar, for having skilled more than 10,000 women. Second award given by Maharashtra government, then Honorable Minister, Mr. Chhaganji Bhujbal, for betterment of women. Third received an award from Rashtriya Shakti Bhushan for improving the quality of life for women by Additional Advocate Mr. Adis Agrawal. Fourth, Hero of the Year Award from HDFC Bank, MasterCard and Flipkart for having done exemplary work for women empowerment by leading Bollywood actor Mr. Anil Kapoor. They also made small documentary on which went viral on Facebook and YouTube. Going forward, I would like to develop training programs where women are taught to lead the business. This will help create new job opportunity for other women. And it aligns with Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi's vision of Make in India. I have recently registered my NGO, Saksam Charitable Trust, so that it helped me reach out this goal. Thank you for listening to me patiently. Jai Hind.
Thank you for speaking on this platform today, Ms. Upadhyay. It's really, really encouraging to see what you've been doing with women on a platform that you have reached and using everything that you have, to make it go forward, either it be the celebrity influence or the big stores that you've gotten your products into. It's really inspiring to see, and inspiring to see for people like us, the newer generation, to be able to move and do things like that as well. So a really big round of applause for you for all that. Next, I will invite Samira L. Jones. She's the author, life and business strategist from the USA. Welcome, Samira. You will have to tell me where in the USA. Because it just says you'll have to tell me where in the USA.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I am from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. I am an author, I am a speaker, and I am a business strategist. And before all of that, just 3 years ago, life had changed drastically for me. If you were to follow me on social media or any of my platforms, you will see that oftentimes the storm is required in order to receive the blessing. And that's because I went through the storm. If you look at me today, you wouldn't know that I was a child that was abandoned when I was 12 years old. If you look at me today, you wouldn't know that 3 years ago, my husband had abandoned me after a 10-year marriage. And so you're probably thinking, what does that have to do with coaching? Well, it's because of coaching and because of those storms that I've went through that the blessing is me here being on this stage today. I am also a coach. 3 years ago, I did not know that this would be my reality today. And I never even knew what the coaching arena was 3 years ago. I was still trying to get my life together, get over the devastation of my marriage falling apart, trying to get things together for my children and I to survive and to bounce back. And I happened to be in a room like this where I attended a conference, and that conference changed my life forever. And that's where I learned about coaching, because I ended up hiring a coach and becoming a business coach myself and helping others get through their storms. My career started in coaching as a life coach and helping other women bounce back from their adversities. And then that led into business coaching. And I have to tell you, you cannot do it alone. And I've heard more than one of these fabulous ladies up here say that you have to have a team. You have to have strategy. You have to have a support system. These ladies right here at this table, we all traveled together from the U.S. This is my support system. You have to have like-minded women surrounding you, your tribe, who are on the same mission as you are. And you can only do that through connecting with people who are just like you, people who are going to level you up. And that's what I have. And I want to publicly thank these ladies here for supporting me. This is not what I imagined 3 years ago. I was a housewife. I did my gardening and tended to my pond in my yard and did all the school things, the PTA with my children. But today, my life is different, and I'm inspiring thousands of women just like you in this room. And I encourage you, whether you've been in business for 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, it doesn't matter. You're always going to need someone to help excel you to your next level. I don't know how many of you all are familiar with Oprah. She has 5 coaches. She has a coach in every area of her life. And I understand now how essential that is to have that support system. So that's a little about me. I'm going to be speaking later on this evening about the power of belief, and I will share more of my story when I have a little more time in that session about what happened in my life and how I was able to excel because of the belief that I had. So you all are welcome to come to that 7:15 down in one of the CM rooms. It's on the board, and I thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. I totally agree with you. I think we need mentorship throughout our life if we're going to excel in something, and everybody has a mentor. So to get to the next level, we always need mentorship. So thank you for sharing your story. We have our last speaker for the evening. Can I bring Yael Libovitz from HR Consulting, Group Instructor from Israel? Welcome. Welcome, Yael.
I wanted to share some moments of happiness I had in the last few months. I tried to define those moments, and what I discovered is what made them so happy for me was realizing that what I had in my mind about a certain person just doesn't fit who he or she really is. And the stereotypes I have in my mind just doesn't work anymore. So my name is Yael Libovitz. I'm from Israel. I was working for many years as HR business partner or HR manager in big financial companies in Israel. And in the last few months, I've started working as a coach and as instructor in a very special and unique occupational leadership program for ultra-Orthodox women in Israel. Now, I'm secular, I'm not Orthodox, and that meeting with those women I'm working with completely overwhelmed me and helped me realizing how mistaken I am. And what I'm wishing all of us, and myself as well, is to try proving ourselves even here in this conference, which is a great opportunity for all of us, as well in our working places, if we're managers, or it doesn't matter if we are HR managers or just professional managers or employees, just to prove ourselves we're completely wrong and what we have in our minds doesn't fit anymore. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Yale, for being with us. And that concludes our session for this late afternoon. I will bring up Mr. Anurag Batra to come and join us. He is the chairman, chairperson, owner, editor of Business World. A big round of applause. He will be presenting you with all of the awards. So we will commence our awards now. The iconic leader creating better world for all. A big round of applause for all the ladies. Let's hear it. I will take this time to bring up Monica McCoy, founder of Monica Motives USA. A big round of applause for Monica. Let's hear for Monica. Next, I have Alice Nikoroy from the USA. Please come up on stage and receive your award. Angela. Next, we have Angela Bixby, energy healer and energy intuit, USA. Yeah. Next, we have Connie Zisman, Head of Knowledge Development and Training Resources of Ultra Orthodox Sector. Next, we have Lynn Hope Thomas, author and speaker from the UK. A big round of applause for Lynn. Now, ladies, make sure you guys take pictures with this gentleman and post it, because he's kind of a big shot. And the hashtag, WEF 2017. He will repost and retweet and everything. Next, we have Maggie Weber, professional speaker and author from Australia. Let's hear for these ladies. Another powerful panel of all women. Mamie-Jean Lamley, international speaker, coach, and founder of Empowerment on Fire, iconic leader creating better world for all. Thank you, Mamie. Next, we have Misha Kohli. If I can bring her up onto stage for the iconic leader creating better world for all award. Priti Upadhyay, she's a social worker from Mumbai, India. If I can bring Priti Upadhyay to the stage to get her award from Mr. Batra. Samira L. Jones, author, life and business strategist from the USA. Next, we have Yael Leibowitz, HR consultant, group instructor from Israel. A big round of applause for Yael. Congratulations to all the ladies on stage today.
And our last awardee for today, my privilege to call on Gurinder K. Pawar, a dear friend, a free spirit, an international businesswoman, and a writer. Welcome. She didn't speak because she's under the weather. She's lost her voice, but she's been gracious enough to come and accept the award. Thank you. Group picture. Ladies, please step up for a group photograph. Gee, can't wait to get off the stage. Get together. Ladies, please.
Let's hear for these ladies. Big round of applause.
Perfect. Frick. Thank you very much, sir. Congratulations.